Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Welcome to Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live, broadcasting and streaming live from the WIDU Community Room.
The WIDU Radio Network, WAGR in Lumberton, WYDU in Red Springs, WEWO in Laurinburg.
Making Rounds Live on 99.7 FM, 1600 AM.
We air every second and fourth Tuesday of the month.
Making Rounds Live.
The purpose of this show is to bring you information on health and wellness.
Here's the host of Making Rounds Live, Omega Jones.
And thank you so much, Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition and the final live broadcast of Making Rounds Live for 2025. I'm your host, Omega Jones. Now, today we are going to talk about topics that affect many families in our community, especially during the winter season. It's called seasonal affective disorder. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what causes it, some things that we can do to cope with it. And you noticed I put we in this conversation. Also, we are going to talk about the need for blood donations during this time of year. I've noticed that every year around this time, the Blood Donor Center usually sends out an urgent call for blood. And so we're going to have a lady in to talk about that today as well. Now, before we get started, remember, this broadcast is for informational purposes only. This is not a time for you to self-diagnose, especially with the topics we're going to talk about today. So if you or a loved one, friend, family member suffering from anything that we discussed today, please contact a healthcare professional. Now, with us today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Elaine Hayes. She is a psychotherapist and licensed outpatient provider with Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Health Center. And we have Miss Cynthia Tart with us in the studio today. Cynthia, she's been in here before, so we're just going to welcome her back.
Thank you.
So, and we also have today Miss Emily DeYoung. Miss Emily DeYoung, she is the practice administrator for Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center, and we're going to bring her in later during the broadcast. So, ladies, welcome to the broadcast, and let's get started. First, Elaine and Cynthia, you both are psychotherapists with Cape Fear Valley's Community Behavioral Health Clinic. So can you briefly tell us what a psychotherapist does and how you help people through this role?
Absolutely. All right,
Go ahead, Elaine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
So, psychotherapists are individuals comprised of different disciplines such as licensed clinical mental health counselors, a licensed marriage family therapist, licensed clinical social workers, psychologists, and PsyDs. And so we complete comprehensive clinical assessments to diagnose mental health diagnoses and also create treatment plans in order to decrease those symptoms, treat the symptoms, and make recommendations to help others. Typically, coming into a service, it's dependent upon the client, what progress looks like. So it can be 6 months, it could be a year, it could determine, how well the individual does with therapy.
Cynthia, seasonal affective disorder. What exactly is that? And is that the same as seasonal depression?
It actually is the same.
It is the same.
In many ways, because seasonal affective disorder is primarily not based on what you think it is. A lot of people think it's based on the holidays, but it's actually based on that change of season and honestly the time change. A lot of people begin to experience it right around that November time frame when there's less daylight. And they really, really begin to experience it, and some of them don't realize what it is in January and February. So you have a little bit of joy coming through the holidays for some people, and then all of a sudden January and February kind of fall flat.
Yeah. Elaine, I read that SAD, it happens outside of the winter as well. Is that true?
Yes. Summer SAD can happen. I will say that it is not as common as it happening in the wintertime, but some of the symptoms
people who may need it. Now, our in-studio guests today, as I said, Miss Elaine Hayes and Cynthia Tart on Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Cynthia, this question is for you. A lot of people say that they feel down, they feel a little overwhelmed during the holidays. How is sad different from just having the holiday blues?
So the holiday blues are almost very similar to a mild version because honestly, the holiday blues happen during the holidays. They kind of, I guess, phase out come January or February.
Yeah.
The difference with SAD or seasonal affective disorder is seasonal affective disorder continues until more of the sunlight comes, more of the daytime comes, and less of the darkness.
Who typically develops SAD?
More than not, it's women.
Really?
Women normally are the primary diagnosis of SAD. Men can have it, children, teenagers can have it, but it's normally women.
Wow.
And a lot of it has to do with that wonderful vitamin D deficiency because of the lack of daylight.
And we're going to talk about that later on in the broadcast.
Depression, and so recognizing the signs can kind of let you know when you're coming into seasonal affective disorder or just regular depression.
All right, I need to go back to the women having SAD the most. Why is that?
I think primarily it's because if you think about it, women run from sun up to sundown.
That's true.
And when that sun goes down earlier, what does it do to our circadian rhythm and our mindsets? And it puts us in that sad place of now we have to stop, now we have to slow down, but we can't. There's more to do.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, interesting conversation with Miss Elaine Hayes and Cynthia Tart. They're our guests today on Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Miss Elaine, what are some early symptoms that people should pay attention to?
I would typically say mood for one, feeling sad, hopeless, irritable, your energy level. If you are just significantly declining in your energy, feeling super sluggish, that is another sign. Sleeping, oversleeping, not sleeping enough is another sign. Changes in your appetite, as well as difficulty concentrating, paying attention. Your cognitive levels can be up and down as well.
Wow, she just went down the checklist with me, ladies and gentlemen. Our in-studio guest today, Miss Elaine Hayes and Miss Cynthia Tart. We are talking about seasonal affective disorder, and we're talking about who it affects. We're going to get into the coping ways we can cope about it or cope with it in just a minute. But we're live streaming on Cape Fear Valley's Facebook page and YouTube channel, so make sure you get that word out. And we're also broadcasting on WIDU, serving Cumberland, Robinson, and Scotland counties. So we appreciate WIDU for this. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before I forget, we had some amazing guests during the 2025 year. And during our next broadcast, which is coming up around, I think it's December 23rd. I have it written down. It'll be later on. But we're going to do a year in review. And what I want you to do is make sure you join us because, like I said, we've talked about everything from high blood pressure to stroke to cardiovascular disease. We've even talked about breast cancer. So make sure you join us for that special year in review coming up on our next broadcast. But today we have Miss Elaine Hayes and Cynthia Tart on Making Rounds Live. So Cynthia, we're going to go back to you. Does SAD ever get mistaken for mental health conditions?
All the time. All the time. Because it's very similarly, as Elaine explained earlier, it similarly has symptoms of, honestly, ADHD, anxiety, depression, major depressive disorder. So lots of times it can be misdiagnosed.
Well, what should people know about the differences?
I think is the length of time. because someone with major depressive disorder may struggle with it 12 months out of the year.
Wow.
But for someone with seasonal affective disorder, it may come on as an onset around, again, when the sun goes down, November-ish time frame, October, and then it's going to kind of ease up once the spring arrives.
All right, Ms. Lane, let's talk about myths and misconceptions and information out there that's not exactly accurate about seasonal affective disorder. What do you wish that people would understand?
I think the biggest thing is understanding that SAD is a mental health diagnosis. A lot of people feel that because it's natural to go through daylight savings time and to go through like the longer winter months that, that's normal. But how everyone responds to that is very different. So for Miss Cynthia, she may be cool, right? But for me, I may be struggling. So that is a very real thing, that it is a mental health diagnosis.
Now, we mentioned earlier that SAD does affect children and teens in addition to adults. So let's say you have a parent out there and their child may be struggling with this. What should the parent look for, and what should the parent do?
I think looking for social withdrawal is a big thing. Behavior or school concerns, either at home or at school, potential substance abuse, anxiety, eating disorders, because we do know that those are typical symptoms that are related to depression. And more so with seasonal affective disorder, that's when we like to eat a lot of carbs, right? We like to eat a lot of good things. So that is a sign to look out for. But I don't know, because teens and young adolescents, they like to eat. I have a son. He likes to eat. So that is a real thing.
Now, what happens if this is left untreated? Can it worsen over time?
Absolutely. It can go into your major depressive disorder categories if left untreated and unrecognized.
All right. Let's talk about some solutions. What treatments are available out there for SAD?
Well, there's tons of treatments available. One of them that we offer at our center is, of course, cognitive behavioral therapy, coming in to talk to a psychotherapist about some of the ways that you're feeling and some of the symptoms that you're having. Some of the other things is, as I mentioned earlier, vitamin D deficiency. Follow up with your regular medical doctor and see if the vitamin D in your blood is lower than usual. And another thing is red light therapy or light therapy. Even though it's sub-0 degrees, it feels like sometimes in the morning, get that morning sun in. The morning sun is super important. And definitely red light therapy is offered at many different locations, whether it's skincare places, whether it's gyms. There's a lot of gyms around the areas in different counties that have red light therapy machines.
Okay. Now, we mentioned vitamin D twice, so let's go ahead and talk about vitamin D. Tell us why vitamin D makes the difference. I mean, you've hit on it, but in case somebody is just joining in, or maybe they have heard it, explain why this is so important.
Vitamin D and what Elaine and I do in the psychotherapy world, the mental health world, it helps to regulate emotions. It's one of the main vitamins that really helps to set the tone for the day. And if it's low, then you're going to have the mood swings, you're going to have the appetite changes, you're going to have all kinds of differences that you recognize, maybe even irritability, some things that mimic anxiety. But it all goes back to that lower vitamin D deficiency. And that happens during the fall and winter months when we're not outside as much as we usually are.
As we head into the holiday season, or already into the holiday season, how can family and friends support someone who is struggling from SAD?
I would say check on your family and friends more often. If there's a party going on, take them. If it's church going on, take them. Anything social. We know that a lot of people who do not have family that stays with them inside of the home, they often suffer from isolation and companionship. So if you know someone, help get them out, help get them active, because that's something that's going to make a very big difference, staying busy and being involved in different things.
All right, before we go into our first break, one thing that I do want to ask, and I do need to ask, the job, what can employers do to support employees who may be struggling with SAD during this time of year? Because usually this time of year, depending on if you're in retail, it's high stress, it's high volume. If you're in broadcasting, we already know Friday is the Madhouse Day. So what can employers do to help their employees?
I think exactly what Elaine said. Check on us. Check on your employees. Check in to see how they're doing. Check to see if they have been outside instead of staying in the office all day. Little things.
Yeah.
And when should someone reach out to a doctor or a mental health professional?
I think when you feel like you can't manage it on your own. I think that's the biggest thing. When you feel like, yep, I've done all I can, and I may need to reach out to my regular medical provider, or I may need to reach out to our community mental health center.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elaine and Miss Cynthia, they were our guests today, or during the first half. Miss Elaine Hayes and Miss Cynthia Tart. They're both psychotherapists and licensed outpatient providers for Cape Fear Valley Health's community mental health. And ladies, before we go into the first break, what are the main points that you want people to take away from from SAD?
I think for me, the main point is recognizing that it is different than major depressive disorders, and understanding that the onset is during the fall time frame. And once the sun starts lasting longer in the day, it seems to get a little better. So recognize it for what it is and get the help when you need it.
All right, Miss Elaine.
I would say be proactive, right? We know that it comes around every year. So go ahead and start beefing up on your vitamin D. Go ahead and start making planned time to exercise. Make a conscious effort to get out and be social. There's a lot of things that you can do. And if you feel like those things aren't working, then definitely, like Miss Cynthia said, talk to your provider. Come and see us at 7-Eleven Executive Place. We would be more than happy to see anyone and help with any type of issues that you may be having on, recognizing your symptoms and working through them.
All right, give them that information one more time.
We are at 7-Eleven Executive Place, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28305. Our phone number is 910-615-3333. We are located on the 3rd floor in the building.
Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elaine Hayes and Cynthia Tart talking to us about seasonal affective disorder. And up next, we are going to talk about blood donations, why they're so important during this time of year, especially to the African American community. Details on the way. Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Make sure you stay close.
We'll be right back with more of Making Rounds Live.
Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live.
Broadcasting and streaming live from the WIDU Community Room on 99.7 FM, 1600 AM.
The WIDU Radio Network.
This is Pastor Neil of the New Covenant Christian Faith Church Ministries. You are listening to Wake Up.
A winter weather advisory remains in effect through noon today in many areas of the state, some for longer because of the cold weather and the snow and other precipitation that fell last night. National Weather Service says that a half-inch of snow fell in some areas of the Triangle area and Triad, several inches in the northern mountains and northern part of the state. The Pacific Northwest is getting dumped on with heavy rainfall, causing some widespread flooding. On Tuesday, demolition begins at the Eastern Carolina Veterinary Medicine Center after the building exploded during a gas leak in August. While a majority of people surveyed say they had at least one smart home device in their house, more than half say they are not likely to add more. North Carolina's Lumbee tribe could receive federal recognition within the month. Mike Trayley, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Market House Roundabout in downtown Fayetteville will be temporarily closed tomorrow from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. for the installation of the 4 clocks on top of the historic structure. The road closures will take place on each approach of the roundabout. Detour routes will be clearly marked, and drivers are encouraged to follow posted signage. Drivers are encouraged to allow extra time when driving downtown during that closure period. Businesses will be open despite the road closure. Pedestrian access to surrounding businesses and public spaces will remain open. Detectives with the Fayetteville Police Department Robbery Unit are asking for the public's help in identifying the individuals posted up on their Facebook page. On November 11th, the pictured individuals robbed the Fast Mart along the 6000 block of Rayford Road. 2 of the pictured individuals were allegedly armed with a handgun. All of them took items from the store during the robbery. Police say if you know the pictured individuals or you know anything about the case, from WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
After a very cold start to the day, it stays chilly through the afternoon, but it stays dry as well. Partly cloudy today. High temperatures will climb into the upper 30s to lower 40s this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies expected overnight tonight. It's cold again. Temperatures will fall into the upper 20s tonight. We'll have a few more clouds around on Wednesday, and it will be breezy at times with high temperatures in the low to mid 50s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Bless the Lord. I'm Dr. Ann T. Newell, pastor of the Soul Harvest Apostolic Church, the church not just there in the community, but there for the community of Spring Lake, North Carolina. We're looking for more than a few good men and women to join the team. Iron sharpeneth iron. We may have what you need. You may have what we need. Catch the vision. Join the team. Join Wake Up.
'Tis the season to make your season shine. This year, give your holiday lights and your wallet a little extra sparkle. Switch from old incandescent string lights to bright energy-saving LEDs and enjoy the glow that lasts. LED decorative light strings use 96% less energy and can last up to 10 times longer. And here's the real gift. From November 1st through December 31st, you can earn up to $40 in PWC bill credits just for making the switch. That's more sparkle and less waste. Hey, and while you're lighting things up, celebrate the season with PWC at Fayetteville's favorite holiday events. Grab your tickets and head to Segra Stadium for the Fayetteville Woodpeckers Holiday Lights. Or bring the whole family to Christmas in the Park at Arnett Park, a free event powered by PWC and packed with holiday magic. Let's make this season shine together. Learn more about all PWC energy-saving incentives at faypwc.com. Attention Fayetteville, 2025 and 2026 Hondas are here at Bryan Honda, your #1 destination for unbeatable deals. New 2025 and 26 Honda Pilots, Accords, Civics, and CRVs are arriving daily. Whether you're looking for style, performance, or unbeatable reliability, Bryan Honda has the perfect ride for you. Need financing? No problem. Our hassle-free financing makes it easier than ever to drive home in a brand new Honda today. And remember, all new and pre-owned vehicles include the first 2 years of maintenance free. Stop by Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit us online, bryanhonda.com. What are you waiting for, Fayetteville? Come into Bryan Honda for unbeatable deals. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who haven't seen me and believe anyway." Merry Christmas from the staff and management of Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum, 4017 Gillespie Street in Fayetteville. Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum offers pre-need and at-need spaces. They're open to the public Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Saturday appointments by special requests. Merry Christmas from Rockfish Memorial Park and Mausoleum.
If you only look at what is,
you might never attain what could be. Come on, catch the vision and join the team.
This is Pastor Neil of the New Covenant Christian Faith Church Ministries, 5427 Murchison Road, and I am proud to be a member of Wake Up.
We now return to Making Rounds Live.
Cape Fear Valley's Making Rounds Live.
Broadcasting and streaming live on the WIDU network, 99.7 FM, 1600 AM. Here's Omega Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second segment of Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. Now we are going to talk about something that truly saves lives: blood donations. Every holiday season, I've noticed that the need is especially high during the winter months and around Christmas. And we're going to find out why, and we're going to tell you how you can become a superhero this holiday season. With us now, we have Miss Emily DeYoung. She is from Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center. And Emily, thank you for braving this cold weather to be with us today. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me on.
For people who may not know who Emily DeYoung is, who is Emily DeYoung?
Well, I'm the practice administrator at the Blood Donor Center, so I kind of oversee daily operations, working directly with our recruiters who go out into the community and get those community blood drives for different companies, churches, organizations, stuff like that. And then I work with the phlebotomists as well, and they are going to be that front line that works with our donors when they come in.
Why is blood donation so important?
Yeah, so blood is kind of a unique thing where we can't process it in a lab or, just purchase an unlimited supply. So we do rely heavily on donors to come in and donate their blood. Blood donations are used for multiple different procedures, whether it's, mothers who just had kind of a complicated birth, or NICU babies, cancer patients, trauma patients. So a wide variety of patients rely on blood donations every day.
During the holiday season, Emily, I've noticed that blood donation is always down. Yes. Why is that?
Yeah, so a lot of it is, I think everybody just gets caught up in the holiday season. You've got your parties, you're traveling out of town to go visit loved ones. It kind of just slips through the cracks when it comes to coming in and donating blood, but unfortunately the need for blood doesn't slow down. So you've still got those elective cases. Traumas are going to increase because, again, unfortunately, when we're traveling, there's a lot of auto accidents and stuff like that. So the need is still there, and it kind of just is like an oil change. You forget about it, but it's still necessary in there. Yeah, exactly.
You did mention automobile accidents. I remember when we interviewed other people from the Blood Donor Center, they would say that one automobile accident could wipe out the entire supply. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that is correct. Just depending on the severity of the case, there's something called a mass transfusion protocol, and so you're just giving that patient, what they need until the doctor or whoever says they're at a stable level that we can stop. So if it's a multi-casualty accident, you are 100% correct. We could run through a supply in a weekend.
My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Emily DeYoung right now. She is with Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center, and she's telling us why it is so important for us to donate blood during this time of year. Emily, platelets and red cells. I read about those. I don't understand what they are. So what are they, and why are they so important?
So there's three components when you come in and do a blood donation. There's red blood cells, and those obviously help in increasing our iron and transporting oxygen to different places in the body. So these cells are used to treat blood loss and help patients get enough oxygen. So when patients are needing red blood cells, it's commonly seen in surgeries, trauma, and patients with a severe case of anemia. Mm-hmm. Platelets kind of act as a Band-Aid for our body. They're the clotting factor in the blood, and so they're essential for our cancer patients, those doing chemotherapy, and really anyone at risk of potentially having a high blood loss.
Emily, this next question, I really want people to understand there is a difference between donating at Cape Fear Valley's Blood Donor Center versus donating at other blood collectors. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I'm going to word it this morning. So why is it so important for people to donate at Cape Fear Valley's Blood Donor Center? Who benefits from this?
Yes, absolutely. So I think the Blood Donor Center's catchphrase or tagline or whatever you want to call it is saving lives locally. And I think that's really what makes us stand apart from some other local blood banks and mobile blood connections. Cape Fear Valley, every donation that's collected stays within the Cape Fear Valley the Cape Fear Valley community. So we are helping patients in our Cumberland, Hoke, Bladen, Harnett County hospitals and facilities, unlike some other donation centers, and they're selling your blood and transporting them to different states, different locations. And so by donating with Cape Fear Valley Blood Donor Center, you are truly helping, your neighbors, your loved ones, our first responders, our military community, people that we're interacting with on a day-to-day basis. They're the ones that are benefiting from this.
All right. Thank you for explaining that. I really had to get that question out.
You did great.
Plasma centers, let's talk about them. They're popping up like daisies all over the place. Is donating at a plasma center the same as donating blood? And because some people may feel they're in the same ballpark.
Yeah, so plasma is a different component than red blood cells or platelets, so the donation is different. When we're doing red blood cells and platelets, depends, you're eligible to donate, every 56 days for red blood cells. Platelets, you're eligible about every 2 weeks. And so the different uses of those components are kind of what sets the plasma and the platelet and whole bloods apart.
Okay, but they are not the same.
They are not the same.
That's what I
So we
want
are
people
not
to
your local
understand.
plasma center.
They are not the same. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Miss Emily DeYoung this morning. She is with Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center, talking about the importance of donating blood during this time of the year. Emily, exactly how much blood does the hospital system? We're talking Cumberland. Where is Cape Fear Valley located? Cumberland, Bladen, Harnett, and Hope counties.
Correct.
Yes. How much blood does the hospital need to treat local patients?
Yes, so we're very fortunate that Cape Fear Valley is expanding, but with that comes an increased need for blood and platelets. So every month, the ideal amount to collect is about 1,000 units to be able to fully staff and supply all of our facilities. Requirements
to blood to donate, what are they?
Yes, so you can donate as young as 16 with parental consent, but everyone 17 years and older, they're eligible to donate. You do have to weigh at least 110 pounds, feeling generally healthy on the day of donation. We typically recommend our donors have a pretty high iron-rich meal the day prior and drink lots of fluids, just because that makes the donation go a little bit smoother. And then you do need to bring a valid form of ID to your appointment.
Medications. Someone like me, as many meds that I'm on, I would be like, well, I can't donate because I'm on 13 pills a day.
Yeah.
So is someone still taking medication, they can donate?
Definitely. So there are some medications that put you on a temporary deferral list, such as antibiotics. Some acne medications will cause you to be temporarily deferred, and then blood thinners as well. However, just because you are on prescription medications does not mean that you are completely deferred. So at the time of donation, we do have like a medication deferral list that donors will look over prior to, just so they don't go through the whole process only to find out that they're deferred.
Yeah.
But of course, if there's any questions, our staff is more than happy to help if you call into the center, and we can answer your questions prior to donating.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Emily DeYoung on Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live. We're talking about blood donations and the importance of donating blood during this time of year. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to be part of the broadcast, two ways you can do it. First of all, you can give us a call at WIDU, 910-483-6111. That's the number. And Miss Glenda, she'll answer the phone and she'll make sure that we get that question answered for you. Also, if you're following the live stream on Cape Fear Valley's Facebook page, you can leave the question in the comment section and Lizzie will make sure we get that question answered. You can also follow the broadcast on YouTube. Don't know if you can ask the question in the comment section on YouTube yet, but I will find out and I will let you know at the next live broadcast. And the main thing I want you to do is share this. We've talked about some very important information today. First half of the broadcast, we talked about SAD. Second half of the broadcast, we're talking about blood donations. Don't be that middleman. Share the broadcast and folks can see for themselves and hear it for themselves. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Emily DeYoung with us today from Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center. Emily, post-COVID, everyone's guard is up. No one wants to do anything. Giving blood, is it safe?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the safest medical procedures that you can do. Part of the reason we do the screening prior to putting you on that donation bed is to make sure that you yourself are in a healthy state, your levels are in a good position, that you are able to donate with any or without any complication. But yeah, definitely safe. All of our, supplies, they're sterile, they're single use, so there's no risk of cross-contamination with other donors. Our staff is well trained and we go through regular trainings as well, so we're always providing top care for our donors.
I'm going to let you know, Emily, someone out there, I'm scared of needles. What do you have to tell them?
Me too. The biggest thing is I think a lot of people think that pain is going to be there for the entire donation, but truly it's just that initial feels just almost like a pinch when the needle goes into the arm, and then you don't feel it for the rest of the donation. So again, our phlebotomists are fantastic. They're really patient and kind, especially with our first time donors who are a little hesitant and unsure of what the process looks like. And they will make you feel comfortable. If you want hot chocolate or if you need a snack or a blanket, they're going to do what it takes to make you feel comfortable and not even think about that needle stick.
For our listeners and viewers, walk us through the process.
Yeah, for sure. So when you first arrive, you'll come to the check-in desk. They'll make sure that you are eligible. Again, like I said, every 56 days for that whole blood, you can donate. You'll just verify your ID and then again fill out that quick health questionnaire, just making sure that you're eligible and healthy. From there, they'll do kind of a finger stick to check your iron levels, again, putting our donor safety at the forefront of the process. Once you're cleared, you'll sit in a donation table. They'll give you kind of a stress ball to squeeze to kind of get the blood flowing, make sure it's going to be a quick and easy process. A phlebotomist will kind of clean your arm, do that needle stick, and the donation process starts. And then from there, it truly is about a 10 to 15 minute process. They collect the blood levels that they need, and then they'll bandage your arm, make sure you're feeling good, not lightheaded or dizzy, and then you get to hang out in our little snack area for a while, get some food and drinks to make sure that you feel okay before you go back to your day.
All right. Well, now we'll let you know this. When Lindsay held the position of the person over the Blood Donor Center, she would always say that they had special goodies like T-shirts and giveaways. You got T-shirts and giveaways?
Absolutely.
All
Right now, we're doing a long sleeve T-shirt with the Blood Donor Center logo on it, and then we also will do a free movie ticket for donors that come in. So if you're into Wicked or Zootopia, Avatar, come and donate, get a ticket, go see a movie, and we'll get you taken care of.
All right, where are you located so our viewers and listeners will know?
Yes, absolutely. So we are located at 3357 Village Drive in Fayetteville, 28304. We're in the Bordeaux Center, so where the Eiffel Tower is where we are located, just directly across the street from the emergency department. We do also have mobile blood drives throughout the community, so you can check out our website at savingliveslocally.org, and that will list all of our blood drives throughout the community as well that you can attend.
All right. Well, Emily, you already know when you need to sound the alarm, you make sure you give us a call and we'll help you sound that alarm.
Absolutely.
Before I let you go today, what is the one thing you want folks to know about the importance of donating blood during the holiday season and winter months?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a misconception of, I don't have that top blood type like the universal donor blood type. And I think it doesn't matter what blood type you are, someone else out there has the same type as you, and they're going to need a donation as well. So everybody's blood is valuable, and it is useful. It's a very easy process, and I think just making everybody know that the blood stays, again, within our local community and is helping our loved ones is what's important.
Well, Emily, thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule and braving this weather to be with us today.
Yes,
Greatly appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up the last live broadcast for Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live for 2025. And I want you to join me again in thanking today's guest. First, during the first segment, we had Miss Elaine Hayes and Cynthia Tart. We talked about seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, and these experts, they gave us some ways to cope. They told us what to look for and to make sure you check on your friends and family during the holiday season. And you heard Miss Emily DeYoung. She's with Cape Fear Valley Health's Blood Donor Center. Don't forget to visit savingliveslocally.org. Again, that's savingliveslocally.org. And everything we discussed today, you can pretty much find it on that website. And again, our next broadcast is Tuesday, December 23rd. In this program, the producers and I are putting together an amazing year in review. We've provided some very valuable information over 2025, so make sure you join us for the recap. So, ladies and gentlemen, for our producers, Shaka Jordan, Ray Thomas, and Lindsey Graham, and the hard-working team behind the scenes, I'm Omega Jones, continuing the legacy of Darvin Jones. Thank you so much for listening to and watching Cape Fear Valley Health's Making Rounds Live.